Next brother come out. Hurry, bro.
Right. So when a brother was coming in, we're talking about the laws. And when you look in the book of Daniel, let me get Daniel chapter 7. When you look in the book of the Bible, you will find out that many things here in America have nothing to do with God whatsoever. All of these high holy days, so-called Christmas, so-called Easter, so-called Thanksgiving, all of this is nonsense. All right? Now, let's go into this. Read this. Daniel chapter 7 and verse 25, I believe, right?
The book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 25. And he shall speak great words against the Most High.
Right. He shall speak great words against the Most High. Who's that? That's talking about the so-called leaders at this time here in America. Listen to this.
And shall wear out the saints of the Most High.
Hold on. And shall wear out the saints of the Most High. Who are the saints of the Most High? The saints of God. The members of his church. What is a church? Give me the church first. Then we're going to get the saints. Because guess what? A lot of people think that the church is the building. We don't know who the saints are. We've had songs when the saints come marching in. All these different types of songs. We don't know who the saints are. We're going to find out. Give me the church first, then the saints.
The book of Acts, chapter 7, verse 37.
Come on.
This is that Moses.
This is that Moses from the Old Testament. Come on.
Which said unto the children of Israel,
come on.
A prophet shall the Lord your God raise up unto you of your brethren.
Right. Because in Deuteronomy 18:18, Moses prophesied about Jesus Christ and told the Israelites that amongst you is going to be a prophet like unto yourself. Another Israelite is going to raise up and become what? Your mediator, like I am today, meaning Moses. Read.
Like unto me.
Right, come on.
Him shall ye hear.
Him shall you listen to. Come on.
This is he that was in the church in the wilderness.
This is he that was in the church in where?
In the wilderness.
In the wilderness. Now, when the Israelites were in the wilderness, was there a building set up? No. But he's saying this is he that was in the church. Come on.
With the angel which spake to him in the Mount Sinai.
Right. Mount Sinai, right? Come on.
And with our fathers.
And with who?
Our fathers.
And with our fathers, because the Israelites are the ones who got the laws, the statutes, the commandments. On what? On keeping the laws in Christ. Right? So now, you got more?
Who received the lively oracles.
Who received the lively oracles, come on.
To give unto us.
Who received the lively oracles. What is the oracles? The sayings, the orations, the speakings of the Most High. Come on. That's it? All right, to us, meaning the children of Israel. Right? So now you know that the church is the people. Okay? Now let's get the saints. Who are the saints? Come on.
Psalms chapter 148. Verse 14.
Come on.
He also exalted the horn of his people.
Right. He also exalted the horn of his people. Horn, meaning the power of his people. In Daniel's 8:21, it tells you that means power. Read.
The praise of all his saints.
The praise of all his saints. Come on.
Even of the children of Israel.
That means indeed of the children of Israel. So these are the saints that he's talking about. Now let's get back to Daniel 7 and 25.
The book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 25.
Come on.
And he shall speak great words against the Most High.
This man who runs the earth will speak great words against the Most High, saying what? That he is the vicar of Christ, right? He is Christ, or he is the Father, actually. He is God. Many of these pastors in the church, they're speaking great words against God. Read, saying what? That they received another book from Christ. That what? They were in the wilderness of America and received another saying from Christ. Read on.
And shall wear out the saints of the Most High.
And shall wear out the Israelites. Wear them out how? In slavery. Destroying them. Putting the yokes of iron around their necks. Taking away their identity. Taking away their names. Taking away their heritage and their culture. They knew nothing of themselves. Destroyed, worn out. Read.
And think to change times and laws.
And they changed the times And they changed the laws. How they changed the times? You have what? The calendar now is upside down almost. You're going to celebrate the new year, what, next week? But that's not really the new year according to the Bible. What is the new year? You know when the new year is? The real new year? Do you know when the real new year is? Let's get it. You know what I said, bro? Thank you. We're going to find out what is the new year of the Lord. Because the new year of the Lord, that's when Christ was born. He wasn't born on December 25th. I dare anybody to bring me any information that shows me that Christ was born on... You know who was born on December 25th? That guy. That's right. Him. Caesar Borgia. Okay? The second son of Pope Alexander VI out of Rome. That man. Not the real Jesus Christ. Read.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 16 and verse 1.
Come on.
Observe the month of Abib.
Observe the month of what?
Abib.
Abib. Who has the Bible dictionary? Thank you. We're going to find out what that means. What is the month of Abib? Read on.
And keep the Passover.
And keep what?
The Passover.
Excellent. Now we're going to... Does it say the first month?
No,
it's the first.
we'll get it.
Oh, thank you. Give me that.
Exodus chapter 12 verse 1.
Beautiful.
And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron.
Right, and the Lord spoke unto Moses and Aaron his brother. Come on.
In the land of Egypt, saying,
thank you.
This month shall be unto you the beginning of months.
So this is going to be the first month of your year. Come on.
It shall be the first month of the year to you.
This is the first month of the year. Which month is that?
The month of Abib.
The month of Abib. Now we're going to find out what Abib means. Let's get that out of the Bible dictionary. And this right here is the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. You can buy this in any Barnes & Nobles. We didn't print this up this morning. All right? Thank you.
Abib, an ear of corn.
An ear of corn. Come on.
The pre-exilic name for the first month of the year.
Right, the pre-exilic name, meaning what? Before the exile of the Israelites, of the beginning of your months. Which is what? Which is in, they call it ear of corn. Why? Because that's springtime. That's when the harvest comes out. So right now, you got more? Thank you, bro.
After the exile, the name was changed to Nisan.
Right, come on.
It fell about the time of our March and early April.
Read that again, bro.
It fell about the time of our March and early April.
Right. So he's saying April 6th, but it's not exactly April 6th. It's between March and April, which is what? The Passover. It changes. Right, it changes because of the new moon. Whenever the new moon is, that's what dictates to you how long and how far the month goes, right? So now we know that the new year starts in the end of March, beginning of April. So next week, when everybody's popping a cork and getting the whole party cracking, no, that is not the new year. That is the new year of Satan. All right, I'm gonna tell you straight. This guy and his families, they're the ones that did that. All right. When you look at December, DEC, that is the number 10. That is not 12. August. Well, you got November, which is September, that's 7. But they say, right, October's 8. OCT, right? And you have DC, that's 10. So why are they calling this the 12th month? It's not. January was named the first month after the god Janus, okay? August for Caesar Augustus. July for Julius Caesar. All of these things were created by the Greeks, okay? So you Israelites, you the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you're not to follow this garbage. Yes, you're living in America. Yes, for confusion's sake, you're not going to run around saying, okay, I was born in Abib. You're not going to say that. You live in America, so you're going to say I was born in April. That's common sense. But you don't give me Proverbs 3 and 31. You're not going to do like the heathen do. That's the heathen's holiday. That's not the holiday of the Israelites. You understand? Read. And if anybody is following the Bible, then why are you doing your own thing? You're either going to do it like the Lord said or you ain't doing it. That's it. Let's go.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 3 and verse 31.
Come on.
Envy thou not the oppressor.
Envy thou not the oppressor. When you read the Bible and you go in 2nd Ezra, which is found in your Apocrypha, okay? The Apocrypha was taken out of the Bible, but again, you can find a King James version with the Apocrypha in there. When you look in the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 11, it shows you that the oppressor here is America. You understand that eagle, the symbol of America, and all the other nations that fell up under that. France, Britain, Rome, Germany, Greece. These are all the oppressors that's being spoken about in the Bible. Read on.
And choose none of his ways.
What?
Choose none of his ways.
Don't choose any ways of America. You're here as a slave, but you are not to celebrate Christmas. You are not to celebrate Easter. That doesn't even make any sense. Where do you get eggs out of a rabbit? It's common sense. Little kids say that. Why does there a rabbit with an egg? A little child says that, but a grown-up wants to keep the line going. Oh, Santa Claus. What was the other day, that lady on TV? Santa Claus is white. Everybody's upset. Yeah, Santa Claus is white, but St. Nicholas is not white.
That's right.
St. Nicholas is black. We have the pictures. We have the books. We have it all. All right? You got a question? You got a, excellent. Come on. The reference, that was from the Zondervan Bible Dictionary.
Zondervan Bible Dictionary.
That it is. It ain't about belief. It's what's a fact. This right here, you understand, this is St. Nicholas. All right? He was a prophet of God. He was a priest, in other words. Okay?
He gave gifts for Hanukkah.
Right. He gave gifts for Hanukkah. Okay? So guess what? When the, I forgot what, I guess it was some white people, I'm not sure exactly, who's the Germans who came up? The Germans. They're the ones that came up with Santa Claus, or Santa Claus. You understand?
Santa Claus.
Santa Claus.
German.
This is German. This is something that they created, but this is obviously just a myth for the children, but this is the real Santa Claus. So that's why we don't celebrate that garbage. We will never tell our children that this man comes down and gives gifts. That's outrageous. You understand? We tell the children that Christmas is garbage. We tell them that Christmas doesn't exist. Christ, right, it's a pagan holiday from the Babylonian Empire. You understand? Nimrod, right, when he died, his wife, Semiramis, she got pregnant from another man. She went to the people and said, he came back in the spirit and impregnated me. And now I have this baby. That's where you get the Immaculate Conception that they teach in the Christian church. That's not real. Nowhere in the Bible does it say that Christ didn't have a father. It tells you that Joseph is his biological father. It tells you that he comes out of the line of Jacob, out of Solomon, out of David. When all of this is garbage that you're learning, you understand? How do you fit in? I'm not sure. What is your nationality? You believe you're Ephraim?
Yeah.
Where's your father from?
Huh?
Where's your father from?
Denmark and my mother England.
England. Okay. Hold on one second. The reason you're from England is because the people of Denmark and England, back when the knowledge of Israel was first going out, back in the 1800s over here in America, there was a big so-called European congregation that was amongst this teacher named Crook. Okay, he was one of the brothers that was teaching that we were the Israelites, that the blacks were the Israelites, or were the Jews. This congregation had went back to Britain, and they started to teach that they were the Israelites, because they learned under him. So you might be getting that from them, but the Bible teaches that the so-called black people of America, the West Indies, that came in slave ships, the so-called Hispanics that went in slavery from Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, South America, Central America, that went into slavery the other way into Europe and also into America and into Hawaii and the Native American Indians, okay, that were taken hostage and destroyed and sent to all over parts of the world, that they are the Israelites and the Hebrews that the Bible speaks of. I saw earlier, are you a Mormon? You're a Mormon. Now, you guys teach that Joseph Smith received these oracles of God, right? And he wrote that the Indians, or the so-called Native Americans, that they had a civilization here. They're not from Manasseh, they're from the tribe of Gad. Right. The tribe of Manasseh is the Cubans. All right? So again, the Mormons know that the Native Americans are the Israelites, but you guys don't teach it. You might believe it, but you don't teach it to the Native Americans because they're destroyed where they are. They should be raised up and saying, oh, we're the Israelites.
Nephi.
But they're not.
What
Right.
they teach about black people in Nephi.
And in the Mormons, they were teaching that what? Right. That the blacks were what? They were fallen
It's a curse.
angels.
It's a curse to have
Right.
black skin in the book of
Right.
Nephi.
It's a curse to have black skin in the book of Nephi, right? This is in your book, which we're not offended because the Mormon books are garbage. They have no divine, how can I say? They have it's nothing.
There's no divinity
Right,
in
it's
it.
not divine of the Lord, so we're not offended. You understand it's reality. Come on. And this is out of the Book of Mormon.
The Book of Mormon, the second book of Nephi,
Right,
5:21.
right.
And he had caused the cursing to come upon them, yea, even a sore cursing, because of their iniquity. For behold, they had hardened their hearts against them, that they had become like unto a flint.
Right.
Wherefore, as they were white and exceedingly fair and delightsome, that they might not be enticing unto my people, the Lord God, did cause a skin of blackness to come upon them.
Right. So
That's from your book.
your book said that once they were white and delightsome, now they are what? They have a skin of darkness so that they're not enticing to his people. A skin of blackness that they're not enticing to the so-called white man, the so-called white people. In the Bible, white people are not called white, they're called red. All right? They're called red. They're from the seed of Esau. All right? The man, Joseph, whoever wrote Joseph Smith, this man knew that. He knows that in the Bible, your history is in there. He knows your end is in there. So now what he did was create a religion to try to what? Again, like we read in Daniel 7, to what? Wear out the saints of the Most High. Change the times and the laws. Change the Bible. That's what he did. And in the book of Revelation, it says to not do that or what? You get put to death. But yet, the Mormons, they believe that. No problem. If you want to have a religion, that's fine. But as far as the Bible is concerned, has nothing to do with any Europeans at all. The Bible is dealing only with the nation of Israel, which is the so-called blacks, the so-called Hispanics, and the Native American Indians.
That's right.
why we're here, to raise our people back up. You understand that? Give me that. Because they need to find out the truth. The truth has to come out. The Bible tells us that we must not spare anything. We're not going to spare no parts of the Bible. We're not going to spare anyone's feelings. That goes for you. That goes for any of our own people. We don't care. You understand? Our job is to bring it out. Right. You understand? You have a question? Yes. No problem. Yeah.
It might have the answer, but if you look a little military, and I was just wondering
Military?
why. Yeah, 'cause
Okay.
you know what there's when
Yes.
you're. I was just wondering why
Why
that
do we,
is.
why are we like that? We're going to get that. Ezekiel 37, the valley of the dry bones. When the Lord said, I'm going to raise my people back up and they shall become an exceeding great army. That's what he said. We're going to read. That's in the book of Ezekiel. Y'all have to learn the Lord. The Lord in Christ is a commander of war. Give me that first before we move on, man. In Exodus 15:3, the Lord is a man of war. This guy here, this is a homosexual. This is not a man of war. This is not our leader. That's not who we serve.
That's right.
Read.
The book of Exodus, chapter 15, verse 3.
Come on.
The Lord is a man of war.
He's what?
The Lord is a man of war.
He's a man of hugging.
Of war.
He's a man of caressing.
Of war.
A man of war. The Lord is love. God is love, yes. But you got to understand what love he's talking about. He's talking about the love and keeping the commandments. You understand? But he's a man of war, meaning when it's time for war, war is on. When it's time for hate, that's going down. When it's time for love, that's going to happen too. You understand? The time now is for our people to be revived. You got Ezekiel 37? Yes, read that.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 37, verse 10.
Excellent.
So I prophesied as he commanded me, and the breath came into them.
Right, the breath came into the dry bones. The dry bones is representing the Israelites that are walking in a dead state of mind. Like many of our people here that are worn out by the saints that were worn out, they're walking around. One guy's calling himself Puerto Rican. Another one's calling himself Dominican. Another one's calling himself West Indian. I'm Jamaican. Not knowing that they're the Israelites that the Bible speaks of. Not knowing that these are their tribes. Read.
And they lived.
Stop. How did they live? They lived by the commandments, the life that was put into them. Just like Adam, when he got that breath of life, that is the commandments of God. Read.
And stood up upon their feet, an exceeding great army.
A bunch of Care Bears.
An exceeding great army.
An exceeding great army. So when the Israelites, these men here, also the women, but they're not part of the army. But when the Israelites are raised up, an exceeding what?
Great army.
An exceeding great army. So what you see us doing now, we're putting in place what's going to have to happen later on when Christ shows up. Because when Christ shows up, it's not going to be a hug fest. The Bible tells you that the blood is going to be up to the horse's bridle. It's not a game that's going to be played here. The Lord is coming back, and he's dealing with his people first. So the wicked amongst our own people, they're going to be first with the death. Then after that, he's going to take care of everybody else. And that's what it's about. Any other questions?
Get the second Ezra 6, because they asked where do they come into the
where do you come in? Okay.
Hold on.
Yeah,
He didn't answer his question yet. So
That's
tell him
beautiful.
exactly.
The question was, the man asked with the young lady, all right, where they want to know how do they play into the Bible, because they believe that they are followers of Christ. Am I correct? But the followers you are, you're not following Christ, you're following Caesar Borgia. That's what you're following. You're not following the true Christ of the book. So now we're going to show you through the Bible, okay, what is your place in this?
The book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 6 and verse 9. For Esau is the end of the world.
For Esau is the end of the world. Esau is what? The progenitor of the so-called white race. That's Caucasians, in other words. Come on.
And Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth.
And Jacob, the Israelites, are the beginning of the next world, the new kingdom. Okay?
As of the other people, that also
So
came from
at this time, for sake of argument, I'll say the Edomites run the world. Okay? You have America that's being run, even though Obama, he's so-called black, he's not running anything. He's just a puppet. You understand? Rome was a white place, but they had black rulers there, 8 to be exact. You understand? So a figurehead doesn't mean anything. America, Britain, France, these are white countries. You're known as the Edomites. The Edomites are the end, the last kingdom to rule. Right.
Bring the rest of that out.
The book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 6, verse 55.
Excellent.
All this have I spoken before thee, O Lord,
Come on.
because thou madest the world for our sakes.
Right. So this is Ezra, who you have in the Bible. Ezra is saying, all this I spoke of you, Lord, because you made this entire world for our sakes. That's in the book of Deuteronomy. Read.
As for the other people,
Not the Israelites, come on,
which also come of Adam,
which are born of Adam, because we all come from the same person, Adam, right? Come on.
thou hast said that they are nothing.
Thou hast said what?
That they are nothing.
The Lord said that they are nothing. Outside of Israel, the Lord is not dealing with any other nations. Read.
But be like unto spittle.
But be unto spittle. Spit. Read.
And has likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel.
Right. So the Lord is saying all the nations put together are like a drop that cometh out of a bucket of water. So when you're walking with a bucket of water and one drop comes out, that's it. That's what the Lord is saying all nations are. This is the Bible. This is the Bible. A lot of you didn't know this was in the Bible. You might have thought that you see the Israelites, they look like they're angry or whatever. It's not the fact of that. We're reading what the Lord said. This is what they're not teaching in the church. I'm going to get you. Hold on one second. I'm going to take your question.
This is the definition of Edom.
Edom,
from
all right?
The Compact Bible Dictionary.
Right. You can find this in any Barnes and Nobles. The Zondervan Compact Dictionary. Bible Dictionary, sorry.
Edom, Edomites,
Right.
meaning red.
Red. Come
The
on.
nation and its people who were the descendants of Esau.
Right.
He founded the country, so his name is equated with Edom.
Right.
The country was also called Seir, or Mount Seir,
Mount Seir. You all heard of Mount Seir, right?
Which
Today
was-
it's called Petra. Come on.
which was the name of the territory which the Edomites lived.
Right. So the Edomites lived in that particular area. All right?
Wait, hold on.
You want to read the rest?
Edom figures prominently in the prophetic scriptures as the scene of great future judgments.
Right. So Edom figures prominently in what?
In the scriptures, excuse me, let me read again. Edom figures prominently in the prophetic scriptures as the scene of great future judgments.
Right, so it's going to be great future judgments against Edom. Read on.
She is the only neighbor.
She is the only neighbor. Edom is the only neighbor of
The Israelites,
who
who was not given any promise of mercy from God.
Right. The Most High is not giving Edom any mercy. So when that time comes in the end, Israel is going to be set up as the top kingdom again, like it was before. That's what was going on in the time of Solomon. Israel was running things. Everybody else was bringing forth what? Taxes, tribute, and the world was at peace. But the Edomites, because of all of the wickedness they have put through the earth, the Lord is not dealing with them at all. At all. So that's another story. You got it? Read on.
All right.
Read on the rest.
2nd Esdras, chapter 6, verse 57.
Come on.
And now, O Lord, behold, these heathen, which have ever been reputed as nothing, have begun to be lords over us.
Right. So Ezra's saying these heathen that have ever been reputed as nothing. Where were they reputed as nothing? Has the Bible ever said that the other nations are nothing? Yes. The book of Isaiah. We have to get it. Because that's what he's saying. They've ever been. So if I'm saying, listen, in these ghettos, man, these drug dealers always had the reputation of being killers. You say, where's the reputation coming from? Because all the people know about it. It has to be some proof, some evidence. So what is Ezra talking about? He's talking what's written here in Isaiah. Read that.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 40 and verse 15. Behold, the nations are as a drop of a bucket.
We just read that in the other scripture. The nations together, all together, are as a drop of a bucket. Read.
And are counted as the small dust of the balance.
They're counted as the small dust of the balance. So if you have a balance, you take a piece of dust. Forget about small, just a dust, and you put it on. Is the scale move? It doesn't even move. Meaning it has no weight. That's what the Lord is saying. Read.
Behold, he taketh up the isles as a very little thing.
He taketh the islands as a very little thing. Meaning what? The Pacific Islands, all these different islands where the Israelites don't dwell, it's a very little thing to him. He doesn't care about it. You understand? Read.
And Lebanon is not sufficient to burn.
Lebanon is not sufficient to burn. Come on.
Nor the beast thereof sufficient for a burnt offering.
Right. So when he's saying Lebanon, he's talking about the Arabs in general. Because when you read the history, right, Ishmael, okay, he wasn't chosen. It was Isaac who was chosen. So his people, they're not even sufficient to burn. No animals they have, the entire Arab nation can never become the people of God. You understand that? Read.
All nations before him are as nothing.
What?
Are as nothing.
This is the Holy Bible. He said all nations before him are as nothing. This is what you don't understand. It's never been taught in the churches that Christ, this Jesus the Christ that you hear and talk about, he's coming back only for Israel. Read the rest.
And they are counted to him less than nothing.
They're counted to him less than nothing. Why?
And vanity.
And vanity. Why? Because the other nations have to be servants to the Israelites. That's what they're here for. When you read in Deuteronomy, it says that the lot of Israel, first, the Most High cut out some land for the other nations, dependent based on the number of the children of Israel. You understand? So, you gonna get it? Right. So, although you have China, that's their land. God gave them that land. God gave Japan, Japanese Japan. God gave these nations to these people, of course. But again, it's really our land. They did just oversee. Listen to this.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32 and verse 8. Beautiful. When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam.
Right, when he separated the sons of Adam. Because today in America, right, it's supposed to be a great melting pot. But the Lord doesn't like that. I know people think the Lord likes integration, but he doesn't. And you know how you have proof of that? Because in integration, when you look at it, it's always the white people at the top. There's never any integration where the Chinese is on the top. Where's that taking place? Maybe we should go there. That ain't taking place nowhere. Wherever integration takes place, it's the white man on the top. Everybody else fend for yourself. But make sure that blacks and Hispanics, they gotta be on the bottom. That's how it's gonna work. In the Bible, it actually tells you that's how it went down. We'll get into that.
He set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel.
Right. He set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. Remember, he used us first, the number. Okay, let me see what. All right, now I can give them what they want. And then he gave the children of Israel the best piece of land. That's how it works.
Verse 9. For the Lord's portion is his people.
The Lord's portion is his people. This is the Lord's, his people. Come on.
Jacob is the lot of his inheritance.
Jacob is his inheritance. Jacob is the father of the Israelites. That's his inheritance. So I don't know where the Mormons come in. Where they come in is nowhere.
You don't find that in the Bible.
There's no Mormons in the Bible. There's no Jehovah's Witness in the Bible. There's no Pentecostals. There's no Catholics. No Baptists. None of that exists.
One Jesus, one faith.
None of that exists. We only have to be up under this.
Isn't that first, second?
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Do I believe what? I'm sorry.
Somebody hasn't come yet.
Yes. Christ has come before, and he is going to come again. Absolutely. There's no question about that. But the thing is that when he shows up, are you going to know that it's him? You're looking for him. So when you look up in the sky and see him, you're going to be very afraid.
You're looking for Charles Manson.
Right. You're looking for Charlie Manson over here. You know what I mean? Yeah, come on. Bring it up.
Come on, bro. Give me Revelation 1 and start at verse 1. Because the book of Nephi says that it's cursed to have black skin. But Mormons profess to believe in Christ. But like the brother's saying, y'all believe in this Christ, which isn't Christ. That's the image that's been pushed upon our people and upon the whole world. All right? That's Caesar Borgia. All right? He's the son of Rodrigo Borgia, who was Pope Alexander VI. All right? During the Renaissance, which was when the so-called Edomites, which are the white race, okay? During the Renaissance, that's the rebirth. They were coming out of the Dark Ages. And they called it the Dark Ages because what you call Moors, okay, when the Moors ruled Europe, those are Israelites.
Right.
When Israel ruled all of Europe, they were coming out of the Dark Ages. They conquered the Israelites and they had a rebirth. So in doing so, they went ahead, and if you look this up, there's something called iconoclasm, okay? And what they do is that means image breaker. And part of their destruction when they conquered was to destroy the images and the art of the people.
That's right.
All right? Because in doing that, now you have no image. So now you can portray whatever you want as the truth. All right? So this is what happened during the Renaissance. And they destroyed the real images of the Israelites and images of what Christ looked like. But God had the foresight to put Christ's image in the Bible. Read that.
The book of Revelation, chapter 1 and verse 1.
Get the scripture.
The revelation of Jesus Christ.
This is the revelation of Jesus Christ, okay?
Which God gave unto him to show unto his servants things which must surely come to pass.
All right, so this is what came on to him. Jump down to verse 10, all right? This is talking about John the Revelator. Let me just get you the depiction of Christ real quick, all right? Go ahead.
Verse 10. I was in the Spirit on the Lord's day.
This is John. He's saying it was the Sabbath day. I was in the Spirit. Go ahead.
And heard behind me a great voice as of a trumpet.
So he heard a great voice behind him as of a trumpet. Go ahead.
Saying, I am Alpha and Omega, the first and the last.
Okay, go ahead.
And what thou seest, write in a book.
So he told John, what you're about to see, write it in a book. When you write something down, you record it. That means it's important, all right? I want to stress that point. It was important that this be brought out. Go ahead.
And send it unto the 7 churches.
All right, jump down to the next verse. The 7 churches, it was what was going to be named next. Go ahead.
Verse 12.
Go ahead.
And I turned to see the voice that spake with me.
And he turned to see the voice that spake with him, okay?
And being turned, I saw 7 golden candlesticks.
Go ahead, 7 golden candlesticks. That's the menorah. All right, that's what we have here. It's 7, not 8 or 9. Go ahead.
And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man.
So John says, he turns around, he heard this voice, and he said, I see one that's like unto the Son of Man. Meaning he recognized this person. The Son of Man is known as Christ. So he recognized that it was Christ. All right? Now what we're about to bring out, this is heavy. This is like I just took out a chain machine gun.
Right.
Because that's why the Edomites fled. That's why the white folks fled, because they know this verse.
Right.
Right.
And they were about to get smashed because the Book of Mormon says to have black skin, dark skin is a curse. That's their religion.
Right.
They say it's a curse. All right? The Bible tells you otherwise. Because if that's a curse, what are they going to do when they see the man that we're about to describe come back to judge the world? Read that.
Clothed with a garment down to the foot.
So this thing, this image, this man, the Son of Man, which we know is Christ, he says he was clothed with a garment down to the foot. A garment similar to ours. But these are just rags compared to what Christ was in. Go ahead.
And girt about the paps with a golden girdle.
We have a cloth girdle. They said Christ had a golden girdle. Go ahead.
His head and his hairs were white like wool.
Who has woolly hair today? What race of people has woolly hair? You're looking at a brother right there. You got another brother right here. So-called African Americans, black people, all right? They have woolly hair. They said Christ's hair was white like wool. All right, go ahead.
As white as snow.
Now he's describing the color. He says it was as white as snow. His beard and his hair was white like wool and white as snow. Go ahead.
And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
His eyes were as a flame of fire because it's talking prophetically, all right, about how Christ in Genesis, it speaks about why he would have the eyes as a flame of fire. Because he drank wine when he was here. Go ahead.
And his feet like unto fine brass.
What color is brass? Do you know what color brass is? No? Do you know what color brass is, bro? Brass is a brownish color, all right? It comes in different shades of brown, all right? So it said, read it again.
And his feet like unto fine brass.
Like unto fine brass. Go ahead.
As if they burned in a furnace.
If you take a piece of, if you take some white rice and burn it in a furnace, what color is it gonna come out? Dark, black. If you burn something, it comes out black. I take anything and you burn it, it turns black, right? So he says, not only did he have feet, which are attached to the rest of his body, that look like fine brass, which is brown, he says it was so dark, it was as if it burned in a furnace. Go ahead.
And his voice as the sound of many waters.
Because he spoke loud. That's why we speak loudly. That's the example that we strive to be like Christ in all things.
That's
and
right.
Christ was an austere man, and he spoke loud. A lot of times people mistake our tone and our actions for being angry. Hey, sometimes we're angry when you're reliving history and you realize what was done to our people and how our history was taken from us. Of course you're going to be mad.
Right.
But a lot of times we're just being serious. We are following what Christ was like,
That's right.
which is to be austere. People get offended when we speak loudly. We're commanded to do that, all right? So that's the depiction of Christ. So they fled before we could get that out because they knew that thing. And their book of Nephi, which is the Book of Mormon, says it's a curse to have black skin because they're waiting for this guy to come save them.
Right.
But when they see the real Christ of the Bible, that's exactly what they're gonna do is what they did here.
Right.
Except you're gonna see dust up. You know, like you see the Looney Tunes cartoons when the Roadrunner runs?
Right.
All you see is dust?
Right.
Like a chased road, the Bible calls it.
Right.
They're going to run and flee.
Attention, attention. America is on the brink of destruction. America, according to the Holy Bible, is called Babylon the Great. America has spent billions of dollars to keep something secret from you. But I'm here to let you know, to all you black men and Latino men, you're not blacks and you're not Latinos. You make up the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, conquered and destroyed between 1492 and 1620, according to Deuteronomy chapter 28, according to the King James Holy Bible 1611. Conquered, destroyed, renamed, reclassified. According to 2nd Ezra chapter 13, verse 40 to 45, you are the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Those are your forefathers. Those are your ancestors. Wake up. Christianity has conquered and destroyed our people, brainwashed us, set up and based upon lies. The deliverer is Jesus the Christ, the Black Messiah. Revelation chapter 1, verse 14.